Okay, so what you want to do when you're done is bring the start to the end, obviously, but you want to close this so that this tail is on the inside of the crown. So that means laying this beginning part wherever it will allow this to come out kind of like in the middle and out the top, like this. So how we actually close this is put that there, and you want to have a decent amount of tail through the beginning, and you take another daisy or something, whatever you have. Ideally you want a longer stalk that's a little bit thicker because this needs to hold the weight. So when you pin it where you want it, you lay your flower down somewhere where you can mesh it in between the beginning of the crown and this loose tail, and you wrap it like you would normally, except you keep wrapping it over and over again. So that's 2 wraps there. I'm just gonna keep going. And you want to keep it as tight as you can, so it's just a gentle pull, bracing with your other finger here and not snapping the stalk. Obviously if you do, it's no big deal, you can just pick another flower to do this, and I want to kind of bring this up on the tail too as I'm wrapping it. And then just keep on going, and then you need to stop eventually and pin this loose tail back into the crown. So, and again, the tighter you can keep this, the better, because as you wear this, it loosens off. So I want to try to pin this back in here. This can be the tricky part, like you can see how that's bent. As long as it doesn't break, you're good to go. So we've got 1 wrap and we want more. So take my handy flowers here, and I'm gonna do it again, but I might do it the other way this time. So I was wrapping this way, now I want to wrap the other way and closer up to where the head of the crown is, because this was where I started. And I started the first wrap down here, so now I want to add more support up here this way. It can just be a little tricky to get this stalk underneath the flowers without totally crushing them, which, whatever, like you can see I pinned some of the petals there, that's not a big deal. And then try to get that in through there. Now you can see how this stalk, this might break on me because it's actually a little bit too thick. It's a little more brittle, and that's kind of the fine line you have to walk between the size of your stems. You don't want them so thin that they're gonna just like snap the second you touch them, but too thick and they'll also snap when you try to bend them. I'm gonna see if I can pin this down this way. I'm not sure if I'll be able to, but this is the trickiest part of this whole process, I think. It might be a little bit messy there on that side, but you can kind of rotate it a little bit to try to get it sitting the way you want it. And then we gotta cut off this tail, so what I'm gonna do, you can use scissors too, obviously, and just snip it, but I like using the knife because you can shave it down. If you're using a knife, be careful, don't cut yourself. Maybe if you're somebody watching this and you're maybe not old enough where you should be using a knife on your own, maybe ask for help. And this is definitely not the ideal knife for this at all. I probably picked the wrong knife, but it's not a big deal. So you can see how this is kind of shaving it gradually rather than just doing a hard snip. I've never cut this part with scissors, so I don't really know. So this is where my wraps are, right here, and this is where the tail is. So I need to try to keep this intact, and maybe I will just finish this off with scissors. just to clean off this end. This also isn't the sharpest knife in the world. So I think that's as close as I'm gonna get it. So I might just try to tuck this back into the rim of the crown and see if it'll just hold itself there. And if not, I might get another wrap just to wrap that at this point right here where it's kind of pointed. So yeah, there you are. So something else you can do when you're done is take a look at your spacing and see if you have any empty spots that maybe you want to fill. It's a little tricky once you've closed off the crown, but you can tuck things inside the rim of the crown. So I'll try to do it. It's a little tricky trying to film it at the same time, but here's a flower that I really wanted in there, but it snapped on me, which happens. The stalk on this is very soft, so I don't think that I can just stick it back in by force. So I'm going to do a wrap on this with a piece of grass and then tuck the grass back into the crown itself. So now I'm gonna tuck this back into the crown. So you can see how I kind of tucked it back on itself. It's a little messy, but I can put this strand back into the crown as well and try to keep it there. Yeah, so it's not ideal. You don't have to do if you don't want to. If you want to keep your crown really clean, I would recommend maybe not doing this. But I did add another flower there, which I like, so